MCI takes our CO₂ currently from an ammonium factory in Newcastle, but the really exciting part is that we can take CO₂ from any industrial source, or we can also suck CO₂ out of the atmosphere and lock it straight back into materials. We can take CO₂ from the steel industry, the cement industry, we can integrate with hydrogen, we can also take CO₂ from energy. What's exciting is that we can integrate into manufacturing settings, we can decarbonise mining, we can look at whole new decarbonisation options for minerals, metals like nickel and cobalt and lithium. It's really exciting. Hi, my name is Sophia Hamblin-Wong and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Mineral Carbonation International, MCI. I'm also the Founding Director of CO₂ Value Australia. This brick was made using CO₂ from an ammonium nitrate factory in Newcastle. We take the CO₂ from the factory and we bind it using a process called mineral carbonation to create all different kinds of products, including the cement brick. Mineral carbonation is the chemical conversion of magnesium silicate rocks with CO₂, creating magnesium carbonate and silica. Carbonates are the most stable form of storing CO₂ in the world. In order to convert a carbonate back into carbon dioxide, you'd actually have to add energy to it. I think investigating carbonates is really fascinating and it's a really long-term, stable way to store CO₂. As the Earth already stores CO₂ as carbonates in a really significant way, we're actually just learning from the Earth's natural processes. So we know that such a large part of the Earth's crust is already the minerals that soak up CO₂. We're just learning from that process and then bringing it into an industrial setting. Carbon capture and use, CCU, can also be called carbon capture and utilization, carbon transformation, valorisation. There are a number of different labels for effectively just turning CO₂ into valuable products. The market has been estimated to be worth almost $6 trillion per annum, and we know that Australia can be a really significant player in this. We love renewables. In Australia, we have so many great competencies in renewables, and actually the renewable energy sector continues to outstrip all expectations. And so we know that the energy industry has clear decarbonisation pathways into the future. We need to now think about which other industries in our ecosystem need to be decarbonised. And two really important parts of that are the steel industry and the cement industry. Now, the cement industry alone creates 4 billion tonnes of CO₂ per annum. That is enormous. I think I read somewhere that if the cement industry was a country, it would be the 4th largest emitting country in the world. We need decarbonisation options for the cement industry. Now, the steel industry also, not many people know this, but you need metallurgical coal in order to create steel. And currently there are no low carbon pathways for the steel industry. So we need to be creating these pathways. We need to be creating low emission pathways for the steel and the cement industry in order to create our future. At MCI, we have a really exciting multidisciplinary team working together in order to create this MCI brick. We have geologists, process engineers, chemical engineers, we have commercialization experts and IP experts, all working together for a common goal. And that common goal is to create materials that have a high return on investment, but also that lock away as much CO₂ as possible in order to meet our Paris climate change targets. Technically, we have not many hurdles to jump through in order to make scale. It's actually about business models and changing mindsets, communicating it to current businesses. That's the biggest hurdle that we have. When I speak at global conferences and when I speak to business leaders, I show them this brick and I say, this is a little bit of climate hope in our hand. This is a way that we can make our waste and our carbon dioxide productive. This is climate action. If you'd like to find out more about the CCU industry in Australia, I highly recommend you check out CO₂ Value Australia's website, which is co2value.org.au. There's all kinds of information on there about the different technologies in Australia that can transform CO₂ into value. I highly recommend you check it out. Also, Mineral Carbonation International's website is mineralcarbonation.com. You can follow our progress there.